We're gonna be late. Hi everyone. Yeah, it is Saturday night. It's 9:01. I was talking to DJ, and so it's 9:01 versus 9. But I am here and it's Saturday, not like last week when it was Sunday. So you get me twice in 6 days versus once every 7. All right, it is Suicide Prevention Saturday, and I have a lot of highs to say too. But why are we here? Because how was Washington? I will have to tell you about that in a minute, G23. So why are we here? Suicide Prevention Saturday, because 2 out of every 3 gun deaths we hear about are suicides. And if people really want to help prevent deaths in our country, we need to focus on mental health. And funny thing is, I've studied violence prevention too, and it's the same stuff that we would have to focus on in order to prevent suicides and violence. Who knew it could be that simple and yet that complex? G23 said, how was Washington? Well, I have to tell you a story about Washington real quick, not to do too far off the edge here, but I was actually in Oregon, not Washington. And I know I told everyone that I was going to Washington, and it was Eugene, Oregon, and yet I kept telling everyone Washington. So it was a lovely wedding. It was warm, not as warm as today as it was on the range today. So I am sorry I'm not in your old stomping grounds, but Eugene is really pretty as well. So there is that. All right, so tonight we're going to talk about resources and how to find resources and what kind of resources that we can all use. Because my daughter and I were out doing stuff yesterday. I don't want to say shopping because I can't remember what we were doing, but we went to Panera, and out in front of Panera, there were these 2 dudes who were selling cutting boards. And the cutting boards were to raise money for addiction and, not for addiction, for fighting addiction, right? So one of the things that people who are fighting addiction, depression, that sort of stuff, they have to do something. And they learn how to woodwork at this place. And we bought one of their cutting boards. And I was just thinking, the reason we should talk about resources is because they're all around us and we don't always know what they are. So, for example, every Saturday we have the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention scrolling under here. Locally, you can call 211. I think 211 is probably the easiest, simplest way to actually get help in your local area. And here's the thing. I think a lot of people forget that you don't have to just help yourself. You might see someone else in crisis and you might want to look and find out maybe there's something you could send to them. Because we had so many early people. Mr. DJ, do you want to do a quick early roll call since 2 Live Moo got here like a whole 10 minutes early?
I'd be happy to. Besides 2 Live Moo out there tonight, we have G23, Chris from the 740, and Mike White joining in early.
All right, and G23, but we already talked to him. So there is that. It says new comments. I don't know what I'm not looking. So, all right. Sorry. I just saw G23's thing. And I'm like, yeah, no, we flew in Friday. We went to dinner with the bride and groom Friday night. We slept in Saturday, went to the wedding, and then flew out at 5 a.m. So no, we probably wouldn't have had time. So anywho, all right, so resources. How do we find them if they're not hanging outside of Panera selling cutting boards? There are so many things. So I'm going to walk you guys down the road of what I think I would do. So with that, let me see if I can find my thingy. There it is. I forget how small it looks to you guys because I'm sitting in front of a giant screen. Okay, so Walk the Talk America. You guys have heard me talk about this before, and they've been on my show. I've been on their shows, but it really is quite a great place, and it's very gun friendly. It's a non-gun guy and a therapist, and they're trying to help everybody kind of bridge the gap. So let's say you think you might be having some challenge, but you don't know what kind of challenges you're having. Just simply click on this free screening button up here in that right-hand corner. And when you scroll down that page, it says take a mental health test. Maybe you're dealing with depression. Maybe you're dealing with anxiety. Maybe you're not sure if you or your friends are bipolar. You just don't know. So take them all. Take one, take them all. They are absolutely anonymous. And there's more information. You can ask, how can online mental health tests help you? And what do the results mean? There's ones for parents and then for youth to actually take their own. But let's say we went and took the depression test. You go through your answers and then you get to your results. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. But the idea is, let's say you decide you have a depression issue. Simply go to any search engine there is and look for mental health or maybe depression, since that's the one that I picked first. Depression help in Connecticut is what I would look for. Pretty straightforward and simple. So I find out that in Connecticut here, we have anxiety disorder help, and we have depression and anxiety treatment in Connecticut, and clinics and Psychology Today. So here's the thing. There's always something out there that's at the tip of your fingers. Whether you're on your phone or at a computer and a keyboard, there's always something to look for. Because I know, here's the thing. You need to find, sorry, I'm looking, I am trying, see, I have to hide the comments because I'm just going to start talking to people. Not that I don't like talking to you guys, but I'm trying to stay on track so we don't go for an hour. So when you're handling stuff, depression, anxiety, that sort of thing, it is best to figure out what your resources are before you actually have to deal with any of that. Now, how are you going to know that? Well, you're not necessarily going to. But today I just had a dear friend of mine reach out to me because he has a friend who's sort of in crisis. She's just been told she has 6 months to live. She has a twin brother who is like her life, and vice versa, you know, because you know how twins can be. And so there's all sorts of really significant challenges. So I don't expect her necessarily to go out and find some resources. However, I mean, if you can and you can do it for yourself, that's always best. But sometimes you just need to be able to help your friends. So if someone tells you that they're anxious or have depression, go look and see what kind of resources they have. It could be as simple as dialing 211. Now, when I've dealt with family members who are having crisis, I've called 211 with them in the room with me saying, hey, I have someone that is struggling with depression right now. Can you help me? And they do. They get someone on the line and I hand the phone or leave it on speaker, whatever we're doing at the time, and let someone else talk to them. Because for those of you who've been with me a long time, you've heard of the QPR, the question, persuade, and what is that word? Refer, right? So we need to have places to refer people to. So these are the things. We need to have our resources together in order to help our friends. When we need help, if we've already gone and gotten resources for other people, then we have the resources we need for us. I know for me, if I'm not feeling happy, generally, I just got to put on my YouTube channel. And not mine, like I don't watch myself. I mean, like click on my playlist on YouTube and listen to music that makes me bop around and happy, that sort of stuff. But also reading stuff. So this brings me to my second part of Friday as far as that goes. So in the segue, I am going to say, where the heck did she go? All right. So Miss Jennifer McBourne is out there on the Facebook side. And, oh gosh, it's another weekend that I'm going to be away. So next weekend, I should probably be live. We're going to be in Maine at Area 7, and we'll be in a hotel. So it just depends on how good the internet connection is, but we should be live. So yes, Jen, I don't remember what squad you're on. I'm sure maybe I'll see you at the safety brief at the very least, if we're not in squads near each other. So DJ, I see a couple more people. What do you got?
Well, Michael Dunn also joined. So did Vanessa Kitty, and Fiona is out there rocking on the YouTube side. And you just had Jennifer there up on the screen from Facebook.
All righty then. Oh, I see Tara. Did you say Tara? I don't know.
And late into the room, Terrace in this kitchen.
Okay. Oops, sorry. One of these days I'll learn which button to click. Really, I will. So yeah, Tara sent me a nice picture of her bike earlier today. Fiona, I'm glad you didn't melt. I know it was hard standing in line waiting for Metallica. All right, I assume that's who you're waiting for. So, all right. So, part 1 is having the resources. Part 2 is helping, right? Every Saturday I come on and I chat with you folks, and I'm looking at my other And Friday again, there were cutting boards that I could buy. I was just going to donate. I wasn't planning on buying anything, but they're like, no, take one. So we ended up taking one. So this goes the other side of having resources, but also supporting resources. One of the other things that I want to talk about real quick is Walk the Talk America. So they have great resources for us, right? But we need to remember to support them. So you can gift with donation, partners, other ways to help. So I'm assuming support is just simply making sure that you can make a donation. And you get a free gift with donations, $25 or more. I did not know that part. But here's the thing. Even if you can't talk to someone about suicide prevention, or you can't bring something up, you might be able to use something that is a resource, like their handy dandy little cards or something like that. There's always something out there. And my whole thing about giving back is that if you're having a bad day, but you can take $5 out of your pocket and hand it to somebody else and know that it makes a difference in their life because you just got, 50 of those little cards, the Walk the Talk America, into another gun store, that's doing something really awesome with like $5. And we forget, I don't know if we forget, but I know often people can forget why or how good it can make you feel to give to someone else. With that, I have one other charity that I do want to talk about real quick, and that is Operation Underground Railroad. One of the challenges in life is that there are so many different charities out there that are absolutely worthy of your support, but sex trafficking around the globe is super expensive. I happen to have friends who work for Operation Underground Railroad, and it is a hard job, and it's another one of those things. It's a great place to donate. And that's kind of what I have today. Find resources, support our resources. That's kind of it. Mr. DJ, you got ideas, thoughts?
Well, I wanted to bring this up from Chris really quick. Chris from the 740, that is. He wants to know, what division are you shooting at Area 7?
I will be production. I am always production. I'm not fast enough to do a red dot. And as it is, I'm still, a C shooter, even though actually I'm really a D shooter. But somewhere I hit a qualifier just right to make me a C shooter. So yeah, I will be in the C group in production for this weekend or next weekend. Yeah, I was just talking to my husband. I'm like, yeah, we are so not ready. But anyway, we will go there. Fiona, yay! Operation Underground Railroad, yes, totally worthy. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. Yeah, my goal is to not suck as bad as I could. That's kind of about it. All right, DJ, what is one of your favorite charities that you give to? Or are there little soup kitchens in your area? Or, who would you shout out to if you were saying, yeah, we should support this, and not me? So.
I've always been a big fan of the United Way. So many programs are enriched by their support and their networking.
Okay.
and I worked with a population that was served quite well by that organization. I'm also going to drop a couple of links for musicians specifically. Oftentimes, when it comes to not just mental health care, but actual physical health care in general is something that, if you're not a member of a musicians union, then you don't have access to, policies or plans. So trying to find the care that you need both for your mind and your body can be difficult. So I'm going to drop links for the musiccares.org. Lots of great resources over there. And a personal favorite of mine, the roadieclinic.com. So I'll drop those links out there for you.
It's funny. I got a friend whose last name is Roadie, and he literally travels all over the world with different bands and stuff. But sorry, I'm laughing not at the Roadie Clinic. I'm laughing at Michael's comment of nothing can suck when you're shooting guns. Just saying. So yes, shooting guns is definitely one of those fun things. And actually, 3 weekends in Detroit. If you happen to be an instructor somewhere in Detroit or in the area, Rick Ector will be doing a really huge DJ. I don't know if I clicked on that or if you did. But Rick Ector is going to be doing a all weekend free training program for women. And he's always looking for help there. I am not going to be making it this year. Last year was my first year, but that's another thing. Donate your time. Everybody should have a soup kitchen somewhere around them, chances are, or they may have just a food pantry. We have lots of different ones here in Harwington. We have one at our town hall. We have one outside of one of the churches in town, and we have little tiny is relative, but a little tiny town for Connecticut. So there's always somewhere to give. You can give your time. You can give your money. You can just support by letting people know. I know people tell me that they share this with other people all the time. That's helping. I really think that's everything. All right, look at that. Just barely 17 minutes. All right, sorry. There was something in the private chat. Should I look, DJ, or McBourne? Oh, McBourne, yeah. Sort of like Jason Bourne. It's kind of that. All right, sir. Anything else before we go?
No, ma'am. Just hoping that everyone has a great rest of the weekend, a wonderful weekend ahead. Enjoy summer sun if that's your thing, but always be safe, support your crew, and have fun. That's it.
Sounds awesome. All right. Good night, everybody. I'm going to leave DJ.